won't back down.
Richard Sherman obviously played with Russell Wilson in Seattle, and I'm about to get Richard's opinion on this topic. But my opinion on Russ has more to do with his new head coach, Sean Payton. I know Sean a little. I like and respect him a whole lot.
Whole lot.
And I believe if anyone can turn around Russ's career, it's Sean Payton. In general, I think Russ has hit that quarterback wall. It's taken too many hits, lost too much confidence, and maybe some commitment to paying the price required to be great at NFL quarterback. But Sean Payton will get the very best out of Russell Wilson at this stage and age. I see Denver as a surprise playoff team, even with all the receiver injuries. Back to you, Richard Sherman.
Don't worry about that.
What do you expect from Russell Wilson this year?
Skip. My goodness.
I'm going to sit back on that. I'm going to just listen.
I'm concerned. So, there's a lot of pressure on him. A lot of pressure on him.
A whole lot.
This is his legacy on the line at this point, because you're going to separate the two times in his career. You're going to separate two eras. You're going to separate the time where he had the Legion of Boom, you know, the Legion of Boom era. So we'll call that the 7 years from when he got drafted to 17.
Don't put yourself in there.
The Russ Cook era from 17 to 21 when he leaves Seattle. Then you got this era in Denver, where he has a chance to cement his legacy in the biggest way. You're in a tough division. Justin Herbert's in that division. Mahomes, the Super Bowl champ, is in that division. And you have to find a way to win. Now you got Sean Payton. You had your first year struggle. They were last in scoring, last in a lot of worst year of his career. Now you have to find a way with a worse supporting cast. Tim Patrick, who they expected big things from, tears his Achilles. My goodness, you feel so terrible for the kid.
Right.
So terrible. Jerry Jeudy just pulls his hamstring. As you receivers know, you pull your hamstring, it never really gets right.
Yeah, I ain't never pulled a hamstring, but all right.
That's kind of crazy. But when you pull your hamstring, it takes a while to get back, and then even then, you don't really trust it all the way until the season. Right. So he's losing his 2 and 3 receivers. He still has his #1 receiver, but that offensive line, which was an Achilles heel for this team last year, is the same, if not worse. Garrett Bowles is coming off an injury. Now they got Mike McGlinchey from San Francisco who helped solidify that offensive line. They still have a fantastic defensive front, a defensive secondary. They have a great team, but I just don't see Sean Payton being able to turn this around for him with those problems, with all these obstacles.
The part I like here is when I can get back in on something I didn't have a chance to get in on. Like when Sean Payton talked about last year's coaching. And everybody was all over, where's the coaching fraternity? What about the coaching fraternity? He shouldn't be doing that to the coaching fraternity. The coaching fraternity, when they came down on Sean Payton about all of that, where was the coaching fraternity? We knew, everybody knew, that everybody was putting money in a pot for the hardest hit. That was going on everywhere, in every locker room. Not one stood up and say, I'm sorry, this has been a normal thing. We shouldn't come down on Sean Payton. So don't we coming out, Sean Payton, rescue us, don't call us out when you didn't show up for him. I don't want to hear that. I thought what he did was brilliant because he has to say to his team, that wasn't you last year. I ain't got to worry about Hackett. I got to worry about you. That wasn't you last year on the football field. We're going to be a different football team. I love Sean Payton. I do think he can turn this thing around. I think he'll let Russ cook less and get a better running game, but he'll turn it around.
Everything you just said, let him cook less. They're going to running game and play defense. That is how you get Russell Wilson to be more efficient and better than he was a year ago. It's as simple as that, Skip. There's no need to go around and worrying about personnel. I can almost to a point, I talk to Sean all the time. I'm friends with Sean, the whole deal. He's going to do it a certain way. Right. And he's going to do it the Bill Parcells way.
He will.
Okay, that's
chip off the block.
That's exactly what he's going to do, and they'll be better for it. It doesn't mean that they're going to take over the division or anything like that, but they'll win 7 games maybe, and you'll see a better situation. It'll look like football. So it'll look like better football.
He has to prove in his it's just on cadence play. I just need him to drop back, let the ball go. Drop back, let the ball go. Drop ball. So stop trying to make too much happen sometimes.
Do something he ain't done his whole career.
Right.
So you want him to do something that he needs to improve.
He's done it, but he needs to improve on it.
So when you talk about what you just said, let him cook less. So you're talking about going back to what he was in Seattle. That started this whole conversation in the first place.
Absolutely.
And that helped him say, hey, I need to go somewhere else so I can cook more. So now you're saying revert back to what you used to do and what you used to do well.
Right.
That's a contrast. Who's going to win that fight?
Give me a real,
Who's gonna win the fight?
Give me a real quick answer on this. Any lingering bitterness for you to Russ?
No.
Oh, man, I can smell it from over here.
too.
I can taste it when I breathe the air. All 5 of my senses can sense it. I hear it, I see it, I taste it, I smell everything.
Time out. We got to go because we got to answer this question. Next up, should Packer fans continue to root for Aaron Rodgers?
Smell like
No. In the second round by Philadelphia, 53rd overall. I immediately tweeted that, unfortunately, because I'm a Cowboy fan, the Eagles just stole Jalen Hurts and that he would soon be better than Carson Wentz. I said right here on Undisputed that Jalen Hurts would soon change life in Philadelphia. And, of course, people thought I was crazy as usual. But I was staking my opinion on Jalen's powerful leadership intangibles, as well as his poise and his guts and his toughness and his extreme work ethic. His father was his high school coach, which is almost always a plus. Jalen's leg strength had always allowed him to run the ball with extraordinary power for a quarterback. And he soon worked his way into being an accurate passer with an above-average arm. If Jalen Hurts hadn't had one little glitch of an unforced error, a lost fumble in last year's Super Bowl,
it was over.
he just might have outgunned Patrick Mahomes. So now, an ESPN Top 100 Players poll ranks Jalen Hurts as the second best quarterback in the NFL, 3rd overall, behind Mahomes at number 1. Keyshawn Johnson, do you agree with this ranking?
No, I don't think he's number 2, because I still got people like Aaron Rodgers in my eyes is still a bad man. I still look at Joe Burrow in this situation. Went to the Super Bowl, obviously.
Yeah, I buy that.
Lost to the Rams. If it wasn't for Aaron Donald, Jamar Chase is running down the sideline. All by himself, he lunches, they possibly win the Super Bowl. It's interesting, though, with Jalen Hurts, because when you look at it, his second year as a full-time starter, he leads his team to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Now when you start to think about second-round pick, where he came from, run Carson Wentz out of the building, fast rise, no question about it. But the second-best quarterback, no, because you still got Aaron Rodgers. You still got, and I know a lot of people are down on Josh Allen right now, but Josh Allen still has a cannon of an arm, still could put it in the air. Joe Burrow. And we're not even talking about Lamar Jackson. Right now, you start throwing Lamar Jackson in there, and you start to say, he's certainly in the building, but I don't know if he's number 2. He ain't 10, but he ain't 2 either. So he falls somewhere in that 3, 4, 5 category, possibly.
Okay, well, that's still pretty impressive, man.
Absolutely, 100%. When you look at the league right now in the makeup and the construction of the quarterback position, he is right there with that style, right? The Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray to a degree, running around, doing different things with their legs, protecting themselves. I like it for him as far as that goes, but as far as the number 2 guy, no, I wouldn't say. I would say, in that middle 3, 4, 5 category.
Where are you basing your ranking? Where are you basing the ranking from? Or are you going off what you saw last year, or your projection now? From what I understand, I think this ranking is a projection that they project.
It's all pretty much outside of Patrick Mahomes, right? And then I just, Aaron Rodgers, I something about him, I love watching him. But then when you start to look at Joe Burrow, right? Joe Burrow loses the Super Bowl, he goes. What's the difference between Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts? They both went to the Super Bowl, they both lost.
I can tell you the difference.
Tell me.
I can tell you the difference. Jalen Hurts plays with 2 really good receivers.
Yes.
He plays with the best offensive line in the National Football League.
Yes.
That's not debatable anymore. That was not debatable last year. That was established. Great running game. Great coordinator.
Yes.
Joe Burrow took an offensive line who couldn't play in the SEC